I mean, we all have to die, and he lived a great life, but you will still be shocked and sad, so it's normal to feel like that. And he was a very nice man. He was very funny, accommodating. I mean, you can hardly find any, I don't know of any negative thing to say about him. And this is in true honesty. When we meet him on the road, like we meet him in a venue, I mean, he's so friendly. You might meet him at breakfast, and he's so much older than all of us. He hugs us and treats us like family. Then he will definitely crack one or two jokes. He will never escape without him cracking a joke or two. I know he was still very politically involved in South Africa. He wasn't very impressed with the way things were going, because he said it many times. I saw an interview of him really criticizing the government of South Africa on BBC. I was even shocked, because that was the first time I had seen him talk so undiplomatically. Normally he's very diplomatic in his criticism. This one, he was very direct, and I mean, that day I was very shocked. BBC interview. Let's look at religion again. You see, no matter how the depth of how religion has, I don't want to say damaged the minds, because people will misinterpret what I have to say, but the way religion has, the depth of which religion has played a role in the downfall of Africa is really unforgivable, because everybody came here trying to give us their own God or their own religious ways, taking our own, telling us we are bad, we are pagans, we are idol worshippers, and they forced us to take their own religious beliefs. Now, we have two main religions, the Christians and the Muslims, so far apart and very against each other. They try sometimes to do propaganda that is the same thing, but if you try to convince anyone about your own ideology or doctrine, you can't. It becomes a problem. They believe they are right, you believe you are right. And when you see how even those two religious bodies are separating us as a people, then you see how problematic that problem, how grave this problem is. So you see what colonialism did was they took our soul. They took our soul and spirit away from us. We don't believe in our culture, we don't love ourselves, we don't love our names, we see anything Western, we prefer to us. And let me tell you the beauty of so many languages. In Nigeria, they say we have about 250 dialects. Yeah. That means we must be extremely brilliant, especially if, let's look at it from the Europeans' point of view, that they taught us everything we know. So if we translated woman into 250 dialects, Obìnrin and Igbo has their own, blah, 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 that means we must be extremely intelligent. Right. And if all of us, even as very diverse people, ethnic groups, can all accommodate ourselves into English, so shows again, and where we keep our culture in many respects, shows how great we are to now even still sometimes speak English better than the Englishman. So if we did keep our culture, now let's look at the beauty. So language will have been a kind of dance or kind of, every child will be able to speak at least 5 dialects coming from Nigeria. And when you teach a child easily one language, the child can pick up so many languages. Because when you see some people that stay in this face me, I face you, you see the child can speak Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba easily because maybe Hausa was staying his neighbor, blah, blah, blah. And this same child will see easily pick up English, easily pick up French. And these are very intelligent people.
One people, one world, one world, one people, yeah.
We have to think where the Englishman is coming, because you see, when you tell an Englishman you are stupid, he will not forgive you. It is us that will say you are stupid, then we say you too, you are an idiot, you are, God punish you, and it will even turn it to a joke. Europeans can't joke because that word, that language is their soul. It is their being. So I say you are crazy. How dare you call me crazy, Baba? That fight, unforgivable. If I tell you, even if I say your mother is, your father, yeah, we'll joke, because that is our own culture and the language. Except when you meet a real colonized African, will he be so upset that, how dare you call me? And then you will even like me, look at him being English. I better get out of my sight. I don't tell me to get out of it. Will be, you know what I'm saying. Okay, good. So when you go back to history is so important. During my father's time and before him, nobody took music seriously, as they didn't take sports seriously at that time. Till footballers said to make money, then everybody wanted their child to be a footballer. Now, same with music. Nobody wanted to go into music because you are looked upon as a third generation or unwanted child. When you go into music, nobody respected you. You had to be a lawyer, doctor, or engineer, or a pilot. Music, they just. So even when my father came into music, his family too, like, oh, you can never make anything of yourself. When he said to make money and he said to become popular, he went to his family, and I know this story very well, that and I don't want to, he went to his family and said, see the person you all thought would fail. See, he showed them a check. That check was of 45,000 naira then, which is, you can imagine, this is 70 something, very early 70s. His first big check, and he says, can any of you make this kind of money? You know, and I mean, it was, you shouldn't have done it. I would have done it in a more diplomatic way, but I could see his point, because they put him down, and when he said to make something of himself, nobody believed. And now, the problem now is education has not taught us the importance of going into that profession. To go into music is as serious as being a medical student or an engineer, because it's, when you see people writing music, it's like hieroglyphics or something. I bet you cannot even start to think to understand it. By the time you see a pianist using all his senses, it's the only profession where you use all your senses plus your 6 senses, because you are using the instruments where you have to even use your leg and your hands and then your mind, and then you are reading at the same time. So you are using all your senses at the same time. And it's the only profession that touches you and you can't touch it. Where did hip-hop come from? All the pioneers, the first people that started hip-hop are all fanatics of the Afrobeat. They were all listeners to my father. Fela was never mainstream at that time, but where you go, Paul McCartney, inspired by him, John Lennon, Miles Davis, James Brown, everybody was listening to Fela, taking from Fela inspiration, but he never was mainstream because Fela never followed the protocol of cutting his music to radio play and all that. But everybody would say, wow, have you heard that guy from Nigeria? When First Act 77 came, every American band, every band from Cuba wanted to go, everybody knew Fela. Their children, or their children's children who started the hip hop are all their parents played Fela. So who does Jay-Z say is who does he love Fela? Does he know Fela? Of course, Jay-Z talks about Beyonce, fanatic of Fela. Alicia Keys, fanatic of Fela. So your generation that are in the forefront of the hip hop are all fanatics or good listeners being inspired by Fela. Then I saw recently Puff Daddy, or what's his name? Diggy. What's his name now? Diddy. Okay. So I don't really follow them, but I saw it and blah, blah. He was dancing. This is the second time he has posted something on Fela. So I met Wyclef in the studio one day, and the boys with him, they didn't know me. So he said, Femi Kuti. So they were not rude, but not friendly. So wait, it's camera. Then he came. Hey, and they were looking at. So he was saying, you don't know him? You've been sampling his father and his music all your life, and you don't know who is sitting in front of you. And they were like, oh, we're sorry. You see, so they know. Those that are supposed to know. And most importantly, we know. Right. My children will know. It's very important for this generation to always research. Afrobeat can never be taken from us because the founding father is from here. So if somebody wants to believe, for instance, Jay-Z was the creator of Afrobeat, he or she will live in a fool's paradise till they die. And maybe on the day, on their deathbed, somebody will say, oh, that song. I say, oh, it's Jay-Z's own, and he's the creator. Say, you don't know Fela Kuti, let me play it to you before you leave Earth. Or probably when you get to heaven, you'll meet Fela there, who will now school you on how he came about Afrobeat. But I'm not critical because I want the downfall of any government or the downfall of my people. I'm critical because if that change doesn't come quickly, we're going to be in trouble. So it is like I'm agitating for change because it's an emergency. And if I was 11 when my father was talking, 10, 11, and I'm 55, look at, time has gone so fast and we're still saying the same things. My eldest son is going to be 23. And he's listening to, he knows his grandfather said those things, he's listening to me, his father. Is he going to sing the same songs again? So we need to trust ourselves more, give ourselves room to fail, and correct ourselves. And I think that's the way to move with Africa now. It is so important for our system should have quickly realized to make sure young people are learning this profession properly. Now, because of the West again, especially with the rise of hip hop, it is bling bling, money, blah blah blah, drink. But this is not an African culture. This is what they got off the internet and from the West, especially America, that our young people followed. And whilst they were following it, they found their own sound and it's popular. Yeah. Then let's look at it from this aspect. If everybody was singing what Fela or myself, sometimes very sad lyrics, we'll probably all be too depressed. So it's good that some people sing love, blah, 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 blah. I think what is important is we need to get more young people to play musical instruments so they can see the importance of what they're doing. Because by the time they get to my age, if they have nothing to offer musically, another generation will become more daring. Like when you watch the video clips today, they are practically stripping naked. Yeah. I won't be surprised if in a few years some people will completely. I won't be surprised, and they will just quickly warn you. This is graphic, something. Do not watch if you are. But I won't be surprised. I hate when we use all these words. When we say independence, independence means you are independent. You see, I'm somebody that I got my independence a long time ago. That was when my father or mother stopped feeding me in the house, so I was an independent child. When the day I left my father, and many people criticized me, I gained my independence. I didn't go begging, I went out to survive. Nigeria still has to borrow, still begs, blah, blah, blah. So that independence should first be removed from our head because we are not independent. We're not an independent nation. An independent nation means we must be fending for ourselves. So when you say this current administration, that word is there an administration? This chaos we are seeing is, you believe is okay, except they are administering chaos. Then I can agree with you. You see, when you go out of a state like Lagos, because I travel by road anytime I have the opportunity to really see the country, because when you are criticized, it's good to see and feel it for yourself. There's nothing outside this state too. When you see poverty outside Lagos, you'll weep. And you'll weep again because many people don't even realize the gravity of their suffering. So sometimes you will meet, I'm taking it to another level. Somebody in Abeokuta will come to Lagos and he or she will believe, what is Kuti complaining about? This place is like New York, especially when you see the skyscrapers. And when they see the international airport, they're like, these people, they just like trouble. Why? Because they are not well-traveled. They are uninformed. And only those of us that have been opportune to see JF Kennedy or Charles de Gaulle or the airport in Frankfurt or even Johannesburg, will you know that our airport looks like a buka? It is very important that leaders, if we don't give ourselves that correct education, we'll keep on producing. Professor Wole Soyinka said we were half baked before. Now we are not baked again. Who is going to be the president? That's the problem. We don't even know who's running right now.
One people, one world, one people. All nations are guilty. At one point of
I don't know why people give that man any audience. I don't know why they give him audience. Why do they give this man audience? It's part of the problem. And then he will be talking as if he's the saint of Nigeria. Hey, oh God, we are wonderful people. Look. This man is giving advice, and everybody's praising him that, yeah, Obasanjo, but then not everybody, that's wrong statement. I saw some people say, he really needs to keep quiet. He really needs to keep, no, he should be under house arrest. You should be asking many questions. So they ask you, what did Obasanjo do when he was there? They say he gave us the mobile phone. That's the only achievement in 8 years. He gave us mobile telecommunication. How upsetting. I was very against him in the first place. I said it several times at the shrine here. For me, he was too old, first of all. Let's forget what I had against him when the vice president came to ask me to campaign. Many people thought I accepted because they saw my picture with him. You see, that's another thing. People just see something and they just quickly assume. I was very against. When he came, I told him there is no way I can support Buhari for no reason. First, because of my father. Then, when we go down that lane, for me, he was too old. But at his age, as we can see, and then he had health problems. Do you think the man that was going through that kind of health problems has the time to be hearing that you have no electricity? Whatever that health problem is, that pain, he's dealing with his personal problem. He can never have your time.
let's settle the differences. It's best to live in peace. Exchange cultural experiences. That's the way it should be.
So where we're heading to is frightening. But having said that, like I said at the beginning, if you do not understand the history of where we're coming from, then you will probably lose hope and believe there is no light at the end of the tunnel. I am optimistic because of great people who have fought in their own times. I think we have to look at Nigeria critically. It is at the verge of anarchy, total anarchy, very frightening. I feel if we're not careful, people will start to take, which they are already doing in many places, the law into their own hands. There is no law, nothing works. Health sector doesn't work, education doesn't work, nothing works. In a few places it kind of works, but then when you see it from where it's working, you see that those that are dissatisfied in that state are more than those that are enjoying in that state. So the dissatisfaction from even middle class level, middle class used to function before in this country. There's no middle class. It is poverty and then the hierarchy. And there's no nation that can survive like this. And I think a lot of young people, especially when you go to social media, they can be rude, but a lot of people are very informed as well.
Rude.
Very rude. No, they can be some people are very rude.
On social media?
Yes, I mean, social media has no law.
Yeah.
And again, which is, you have to ask yourself, a young boy can just say, shut up, stupid man. But if he saw you,
yes, to your face,
he will never.
Will not say that.
So social media has let young people be very aggressive in a nasty way, and even older people to embarrass themselves on social media. Nigeria needs a young, vibrant person who is going to sacrifice his life, his time to get this country, not just one, but many young people. So I'm more in support of young people to take in this country back. Truly, if they truly love this country, they have to now go into politics. First of all, it is more optimistic than my past albums, I think. I think my past albums were very pessimistic and depressing. So when you hear a tune like One People, One World, you know where I'm going. And this is probably because of age, maturity. I think the way I have set my own section is I'm very happy with it. And people who have listened see I've found a new dimension in my approach into my compositions. Because after what my father has done, to be able to still do the things I'm doing, I think people are very shocked that I can, because I've showed that there's still so much to do with the Afrobeat. So I think there's a kind of ballad song, very slow, which is a big hit in the shrine here. I still am very political. There's a song called Corruption and Stealing. And there is, now there will be that, but very danceable. You can feel the music is very happy, which is where my mind is. So I'm producing nice music. Sometimes the songs are depressing but uplifting. So I would say it's more optimistic than my previous albums. I think with social media, if they ban it, they're doing me a favor because people want to listen to it. So bang, bang, bang. When they banned it, it became so, it became so big that I wasn't even prepared for the hits. It was every corner in this world, everybody was dancing to Bang, Bang, Bang. I so much hate the number. I can't stand that number myself personally. I heard it so much. I played it so much so I had to, right now, if I play Bang Bang Bang, the arrangement is so different because it was getting boring and irritating and very nasty to me. Okay. So I had to change it to make it fresh a bit. It's like cooking soup from the fridge. You now bring it back and you add some more ingredients to make it taste better, to spice it up. Europeans and Americans like to go through the internet and I don't think we have that kind of time. And those of us, we are in the minority that have that kind of time. The guy on the streets, I prefer to go. If I want the album, just give me all my tracks on the album. I'll be pleased with Femi Kuti. I have still not seen the significance of separating the songs. So what I've always tried to do is, in Nigeria, I try to control the market and I release everything at once here.